Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from Latestly.
I'm not doing it to seduce anyone or to objectify myself. I wasn't tipsy at all. I was high on antibiotics. And I think I love breaking those stereotypes. Women are very quick to be judged. They will call me shady and God knows what else. I mean, why did you choose Twitter to figure out how I am as a person? Why is it that the boy counterpart can just go out even without shaving his face and be cool? Singing the latest hits don't make me an artist.
It's always good to see you. Always nice to hear you, your voice.
Thank you.
And the last video that you posted on Facebook was quite interesting. Sabina Chopra's Sundowner, I guess.
Yes, it was.
You were a bit tipsy, but we enjoyed the visual treat.
Interestingly, I wasn't tipsy because, I wasn't tipsy at all. I was high on antibiotics.
Really?
So I wasn't drinking because I wasn't allowed to. I was on medication.
If that's the effect one gets after
I was
having
tipsy on
antibiotics, and if
I was
that's
tipsy on life, which I am. I'm in general. I can show you tipsy right now. Yeah, I need to have some good music, and I need to have the sun and the wind and the beautiful, good people around me, and I can be high in all different kinds of ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not that I have any issue with, there's no moral stand on drinking because I love having a glass of champagne when I want to. But that particular day, I think it was a long time after which so many people had congregated in a beautiful place, and it was a sundowner, so it was nice and, not the usual type of a party.
Yeah.
Yes. But I thought you will talk about Hire Hire being the last video I put out on Facebook. I didn't know.
Of course, we're going to talk about, but just
Facebook
to set
Live.
but just to set the mood, just to set the whole atmosphere. In
Sundowners,
the
yes, I'm pretty much in the capital of sundowners. I'm in fact right now yet in this beautiful, glorious location.
Yeah.
I am so fortunate to be in this green, wonderful space. But have you watched Ray Bavari? Is the question I need to ask you.
Of course.
Because is why we are meeting
in fact,
today.
you can shoot counter questions at me, what I have watched and what I have not grasped. So we are going to talk about
you have to have done your job. I shall hold you accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
So
that's beautiful, wherever you are.
Yeah, and Ray Bavari again for me is of course a celebration of beauty because there's so many beautiful women in it. It's also directed by a beautiful Sheetal Menon. Mm-hmm. And I think I have a track record of having done many of the first time directors have shot their first music video with me. So I take pride in that because be it Bolona, which came out in 2006, to Aajave, which was 2007, they all first time, and last year, in fact, I put out, Ram Sampath, my better half and my partner, shot his first music video, Hire Hire. He directed it. So I think I'm an artist that, and somehow has a connection with first time directors. And I enjoy the fact that they get to move on to a brand new form of expression via my music, so to say, or my voice. And Ray Bavari, of course, is a great way to start the year for me because it celebrates, what do I say? It celebrates all facets of womanhood and, free spirits. And Ray Bavari literally means a mad woman, if you were to say. And I've been called a mad woman so regularly that I relate so much to this whole title of mad woman. Because women who have a take on things, who follow their heart, who do their thing, they are considered.
Who have a voice.
Yeah. So if it was a man, it would be a man with a personality. If it's a woman, it's a mad woman.
But come on, Sora. In my humble opinion, it's a mad world. Everybody is mad and everybody should be allowed their space of madness where they can be themselves, right?
Oh, yeah. But, we live in very privileged segments. Let's be very honest. I'm also lucky to be, despite the fact that I live in this urban world where there are other women like me. I'm not probably the only one, but we stand out like sore thumbs. I don't think that's the case. A country like ours does not reside in the segments that we live in. They're not doing sundowners and happy to
Absolutely.
look tipsy for the world, because typically even when I look tipsy in a video of mine, the Instagram upload will react very differently, the audience there. My Facebook audience, which is a much more mass audience, there will be too many people sitting to judge me as a, a woman with loose character, loose morals. Possibly they will slut shame me. Possibly they will call me nashedi and God knows what else. And I'm very, very aware of the fact that that is the complex country we live in. There are too many kinds, and women are very quick to be judged, and to be put on the suli pe chadana humko. That, that witch hunt is a very common thing that most of us while growing up have learned to navigate. And some of us, like me, embrace it. I'm like, I am what I am. Now you take it or you leave it. And in Ray Bavari, there are women of all ages, if you've seen the video.
Yes.
And it was conceptualized by Sheetal, and she directed it also. Although the song is from the film Tesh, which is now playing on ZEE5 Premium.
Yes.
And Bijoy Nambiar, who is the director of Tesh, is a very, very special, unusual kind of a director, because he has a deep love for independent music and musicians like very few have. So he curates his soundtracks very differently from the average Hindi film director.
Absolutely.
And he fights for a song to get in. He's not one to let the commercial dictate what should be part of his narrative. And all this is very rare, because right now, I think the last 4 years have been amongst the worst 4 years when it comes to the musician community, the composers community, the singers community. The worst 4 or 5 years, very depressing, because in the mainstream, I think the pressure has been 80% of the music that needs to be created is regurgitated, remixed music. Music that's been created in the past, and you are supposed to repackage it in some way. And producers find that the safer, thing to picturize and spend crores on, but they will not take a risk on making a new song. So it's almost like taking away the pride of a whole generation, saying that, music is the soundtrack to our lives. Each decade has music which defines it or was created in context to the what the country was going through, what the entertainment industry was going through, who were the singers, what were the kind of songs. But right now, there is no such context. It's like you are under, and in fact, which is why for me, Ray Bavari was such a breath of fresh air. Although, the first time I heard it, it was in the composer's voice, Govind Vasanta, who is also part of this incredible band called Thaikudam Bridge. So I know him from his presence in Thaikudam Bridge. Is my most favorite band in the country right now. They are like fire. And I've seen them live on stage, and they're a huge lineup and a fabulous set of musicians. But when Govind sent me the song, I heard it and I called back Bijoy and I told him, Bijoy, this song is not for me. One is, it is not in my scale. So it's too low for me. I won't get to project on this song. Secondly, it has this Carnatic style to it, which is not my training. So people think singers are chameleons. That Sona should be able to sing rap. Sona should be able to sing anything if required. And I'm not one of those singers who tries to be what I'm not. So I've always felt a song is either made for you or not. And I think, in a sense, Bijoy's stubbornness proved me wrong, because I clearly told him that this song is a force fit in my voice. And it was meant to be a duet with Govind. And I said, I don't think I'll do justice to it, because my training is in Hindustani, and this seems to be a very South Indian Carnatic kind of a composition. मैं इसमें क्या करूँगी? और एक तो मेरे की का भी नहीं है. But Bijoy insisted that I sing it and give it a shot. I did it in lockdown, so there was nobody around to guide me. So it was even more pressure. You have to just imagine what you have to do on your own, because neither is the music director there, nor is the film director there. They are trusting you to interpret the song totally on your own with no help whatsoever. So I gave it a shot and I sent it to them and I said, I'm not sure, what this is like. And it's funny, not only did Bijoy keep it, he made it a solo song. So it was meant to be a duet. So, there are parts of the song which I have almost in my head sung, thinking, this part the band is going to sing. So I don't have to do this XYZ. I can sing it very simple. Just make sure the Sawal Jawab is happening between me and the other ones. Right. So I sung all of it, but with imagining that I'm also the male singing it. But ultimately, Bijoy liked my rendition. He called me very overwhelmed, saying that you've done something completely different to the song. There is no way I'm not going to release it, and stop being so fussy. I said, no.
Did that
And I was
surprise you,
laughing at,
Sona? Did that surprise you? Because initially you were not ready, and now having seen the composition the way it has turned out to be, are you happy with it that you gave it a chance and you experimented with his advice?
no, I'm absolutely, that's what you expect your best of collaborators to do, to push you hard, to believe in you, and to say that, what you do is so special, you don't have to second guess yourself. It may not be your style, but you brought something Sona into it. And he said that you put a certain element into the song which we had never imagined will be there. So I mean that is overwhelming feedback, and I was like, okay, he has so much belief in what I can do, so maybe I should just go with his flow. And then he shared some of the screenshots that Sheetal had written to him about how she experienced the song the first time she heard it. So it's been that Sheetal and Bijoy, in frequent intervals, take these long drives, and they write me messages, very overwhelming messages about this other song of mine called Jia Lagena from the film Talash.
Alash.
And so they apparently have a playlist of my songs, and they are, in a sense, I would like to think they're connoisseurs of music. So they even hear the more unusual songs that I have sung, which are not in films. And they always are very, very descriptive in their feedback. And I trust them in that sense, because, they're not the average music listeners. So he said even Sheetal feels she had a very visceral reaction to it. And in fact, we are both talking about her, she has an idea for a music video. Would you like to be in the video? And I was like, I'm not even in town. So there's no way I'm going to break my lockdown joy traveling around in a bike and getting brown and tanned and happy in the beaches. I'm not coming back to Bombay in a hurry. So they said, we'll come to Goa and shoot it. And I said, no, I don't want to be disturbed. I'm in a different frame of mind. But somehow it's all worked out, and which is the joy of it, because we are having this release at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Because the year has just begun. This is my first release of the year. And it couldn't be with a better set of people, because they love music and musicians so much. And they made a music video just to celebrate the song,
Yeah.
It didn't
Sheetal
have to be made.
Sheetal also stated in a statement, I guess, that this particular song is a homage to the inspiring women, and she wanted to take them to the center stage of this narrative, this story. So, in that sense, you are this vocal person who's always opinionated, very strong with your opinion, but at the same time, the song also has to be subtle, and it's a healthy mix in that sense, isn't it?
See, people associate strength with screaming, and I have never done that, And especially if it is women, you assume if it's a strong woman, it's an opinionated woman, she must be hyper aggressive, punching people, and we make her into some kind of a Diane. And in fact, that is pretty much the song. Re Babri means pagal woman, mad woman. Truth is, women with personality get tagged with being mad women, like I am. But it's not the case. There are, I have never had to scream to have the team that I have a team that has been with me for more than a decade. And they're all boys. There are a couple of girls, but I travel with a band of 12 men, 2 women, 2 in the crew. And they've been with me and I'm their boss. But I don't need to scream, shout, and be like a man boss in a sense, because I have also worked in the corporate. I've known what it is to work under women and with men. And both men and women have different styles of operating. And the idea is we have these stereotypes of what a strong woman is like. And to me, when I was singing Re Babri, in my mind, I was interpreting it from this perspective of pagal woman, I mean, women. And yet, if you see my storytelling in the singing, it is, there is a lot of, dheer in it. There's a lot of languid therav in it. And I have always seen the strongest of people, men or women, to be the ones who are the quietest in an argument. They listen more. They have a very strong opinion that they give, but they are not necessarily having to scream above the others to be heard. So while social media might give you an impression of, people get a very lopsided, limited idea of what a personality is when they encounter or see them only on a Twitter timeline. So many people meet me and say, but you're so different from your Twitter. And I'm like, Twitter cannot be an indication or a judge of how I am as a person. I said, how do you think? You're so full of joy and you're such a happy person and you're so easy to talk to. And I said, yeah, I would think so. Why did you think otherwise? I mean, why did you choose Twitter to figure out how I am as a person? I mean, when Twitter has played a very important role for me as an artist who has an opinion, because it tends to amplify one kind of commentary more often than not. I don't think in the world in general right now has a tendency to amplify certain kind of opinions and certain kind of energies. And the truth is, I have all kinds of shades that reside, and my day goes by very differently from what you would judge it from on Twitter or social media, so to say. So I think the best proof of the pudding is when you come to a concert of mine. The fact that I keep getting repeat calls to perform to over a lakh of people in the truest of India, which is your the heartland. When I go to tier 2 towns, and very few solo female artists even perform in certain towns, and I feel a privilege saying that I am getting to sing, tell my stories, dress up a certain way, and I'm influencing such a large section of the youth by being the artist I am, because I have never believed in just being an entertainer. Singing the latest hits don't make me an artist. There is so much more to me than just being a singer. And I think the audience recognizes that. And I think even Bijoy and Sheetal recognize that, because they were very insistent. I was like, no, there's no way. I want to take a break, in fact, from media. I've not been engaging so much on social media for the last 3-4 months. And I said, I want a little bit of, I want to back off from that whole world for a while and rejuvenate. So I didn't want to come back and shoot for this. But then the love with which they were very clear. I said, why don't you take the actors and shoot? It's for a film. It's Tesh. And Tesh is still, because it's no more a theater release where, you have a Friday mafia wanting to make sure it's a hit or a loss or whatever it is. In 3 days, they decide your fate for you. Fortunately, it's on an OTT platform. You will have a long tail and people will watch that film even 3 months from now, with word of mouth and so much else. I was like, you could have the actors in the video. Why me? And fortunately, they felt it should be me. I'm, the heart or the voice of the song. And I feel very lucky and grateful that there are collaborators like them. And I have gotten to work with such people over the last 10 years. I might not have 150, 200 generic film songs to my credit, but the ones I do have are have given me cultural currency in the country. Apart from the fact that, I think be it Ambar Saria or Jia Lagena or Naina, or even my, Satyamev Jayate songs, Mujhe Kya Bechega Rupaiya, all of those, they are songs that only I could have sung. It's not replaceable with another voice. Like many film songs, especially for women, there are women at the end of the 2020 wrap up as artists. They might feature in just 3 lines of the song because it's mostly a Darshan Rawal or some other male singer who is a current top of the charts or popular guy. Everybody wants to feature in those 3 lines just so that their numbers show up as, they have a huge set of listeners, because that's how you judge yourself as an artist. And fortunately, I feel that's a wrong way. And anybody with any brain would know that's the stupidest way to judge yourself as an artist, because those numbers don't add up to much in the long run. In the long run, making an impact with your unique storytelling capabilities or your singing abilities, and you being able to move people and their hearts is going to count for what kind of legacy you leave behind or how the country remembers you. Featuring for 3 lines in a song which is a super hit, where you don't play any big role in and that might give you numbers in Spotify, saying that, oh God, you have these many listeners. I'm like, but those kind of listeners, those numbers don't mean much. They didn't listen to the song because of me, so yeah.
But
which is why
apart from, I'm sorry to butt in, but apart from the musical treat that it is, thanks to your voice, it's a visual treat as well. Where you guys have shot this? Which Haveli is this? And what the experience was like?
I think it's an incredible venue, and that is Bijoy and Sheetal's find. Initially, they were planning to come to where I was, and thankfully they didn't, because they found this location where I think Bijoy had shot his first music video with Thaikudam Bridge in. When they told me about it, I said, no, I don't want any video location which has been used in the past. So that was a challenge for Sheetal to shoot it in a way which makes it look very different. And she has done it, because it looks nothing like the previous video that Bijoy had shot. I know that Sheetal is a first-time director, and she would say, I'm a little nervous about this and that. And I knew very sure of what she wanted in the first meeting itself, and that makes her a great director. Because I remember the costume stylist had come over to my house, and she had made some dress which I thought we'll manage, because it's a smaller production, and I have this whole thing of an independent artist who doesn't want to waste anybody's resources. I would say, man, as a performing artist, the biggest room in my house has 101 clothes. I have clothes and clothes, because I go on stage. I don't repeat my clothes, and they're very flamboyant, beautiful clothes. So I told Sheetal, why don't you take one of my outfits? Why do you want to even make a new outfit? And she was very hell-bent upon the exact color, the exact cut, so she was and I think that's what makes her a director who makes choices which are as per a certain vision. She was very clear about the location and my clothes and the kind of pace that she wanted in the song. And we were very limited in our resources because we had only one day to shoot. So I thought it was very ambitious to want to feature so many people. There were other dancers. There's this incredible Odissi danseuse, her guru, because Sheetal herself is a classical dancer, Daksha Mashruwala, so full of grace, so beautiful. I saw her and I was like, my day has been made. It's been well worth flying down just to shoot this, because I get to meet this incredible artist who's possibly in her 60s, but she could outshine all of us in terms of her skin, her glow, her beauty, her grace. And that's something that I think comes out in the video, where you have women of so many different age groups, and each has a charm and a beauty of her own. And we were just talking about this culture that we are slowly beginning to, the disease that's coming in from the West, the tabloid culture that makes us believe that any woman above 30 is not worth celebrating in terms of beauty, because after 30 your objectification role is over. Any woman who is not skinny and looking like she has starved herself and gone to the gym every day is not worth seeing as a celebrity. And I think I love breaking those stereotypes. I'm saying, how can you put an age to beauty? How can you put a size to beauty? None of that really matters, because there's so much more. And fortunately, I've grown up in an environment where we have been, I was in a family and in surroundings where we were celebrated for things like hard work, applying ourselves, learning new things, even intelligence, not of the bookish kind necessarily. The one who read maximum number of books or came first in class is not in my eyes. Although, let me just put it in very immodestly, I always taught my class.
Let me hide my library. Don't watch that. No way you're going to see that.
Yeah. So, people who read books are definitely part of my favorite group of people. I still feel there's a huge value to those, what people see now as old world values, apply. So those are the things that I felt very proud of. My arrogance came from the fact that I worked hard. I could work harder. It still comes from the fact that I can work harder than most people. I can apply myself. I can think for myself. I can articulate myself. And what the message that you get on social media nowadays, for sure, is definitely like pressing the button towards this downward spiral to mediocrity. Because my young niece and her friends, the message they are getting is, if you wear some skimpy outfit and wriggle your bums doing yoga on Instagram, you're likely to get more views. So the more skin you show, or the more, the more low, I would think, one kind of appeal is the only appeal.
But again, we are walking into that zone. Let's not stereotype them as well.
No, I am going to say this. This is the beginning of 2021. We need to stereotype some things, or whatever you call it. We need to call it out when it is affecting a whole generation into thinking it's the only kind of it's the only way to get popularity.
Valid point.
If it becomes your only means, like, come on. At one point, I would say, who cares about Kim Kardashian or that culture? It doesn't matter. I don't have to do it, right? I can even see the best in her. I can dig it out, and I can be woke enough to see, to each his own. But here's the thing. Let me bail the cat out here. when that becomes the only driving force, in popular culture, saying the only way you can get popular is this, and not via your talent, not via your craft, not via doing something spectacularly better than the others, then you're really messing, and you're especially messing with a whole generation of what we could have seen as women who would walk at par with men. Because let's not be kidding ourselves, we are still a long way to go. For years we've been made to feel that we need to dress up and wear high heels and be uncomfortable and squeeze our waists for us to feel comfortable enough to be out and be popular and be stared at, or whatever that gives you your
acceptable. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, to be acceptable. And those pressures, I mean, I roam around in sneakers all the time because that's what makes me comfortable. And I refuse to fit into a corset, under any circumstances, saying just because you decide that my waistline will decide how attractive I am. And who has made these rules? Why is it that the boy counterpart can just go out even without shaving his face and be cool? Because, he's talented, he's intelligent, he reads books, he sings well. I'm like, I got launched 4 years after Kailash Kher. And Kailasa was the big release in Sony Music. I came in next, But the pressure on the female artists to tick, I saw the comparative thing. Sony had put out Rabbi, had put out Kailasa, and then me. But for me, I not only had to sing because I have to prove myself that I'm not a bimbet, I'm not a pretty face. I have to sing, I have to perform my ass out, I have to look good, I have to comb my hair and brush it and perm, do my face. And my God, the kind of pressure we put on women. So somewhere what I'm trying to say is, like in Ray Babri, you see a large number of women there that don't even have makeup. And they look glorious. So we have gotten used to this now. And India was not that way. Let me tell you this. India was actually very, very kind towards its idea of aesthetics.
Beauty.
We have had big superstars like Hema Malini, who's not the standard size, but she's beautiful. She dances like a dream. And we celebrated her as a superstar. She didn't have to fit into being skinny or glamorous in one kind of a way. So India also celebrates musicians who are, 60 years old, 70-year-old. Asha Bhosle was a diva, is a diva forever. She doesn't, so we've had all kinds of shapes and sizes and ages that we celebrate. It's just recently, I think it's this onslaught of social media and all of it that is coming on, which is putting a lot of young girls under so much of pressure to look a certain way that I have to call it out. I have to say that cannot be your calling card. That cannot be your means of achievement. But the number of likes that come by pouting the best, So that can be an add-on. I do a lot of selfies at my age, and you'd think, oh my God, how hedonistic are you at this stage? I'm like, I have no age. I'm a musician. I'm young forever. I shall indulge my selfies, but you know what? I'm doing it to indulge myself. I'm not doing it to seduce anyone or to objectify myself. I will also put up a certain kind of a post which should be thought-provoking, should make us have a conversation of a certain kind. But of course, it will get lesser number of likes, because the moment I do something simple, show a lot of skin, or, make a painting by heaving my bosom, that will get several lakh views even without any effort. I don't have to say anything smart in it. So it is telling of the kind of age we live in. And since most of the world is living on their social media pages, it's important to have these discussions and not be so blasé and say, हाँ सब चलता है, वो भी choice है. नहीं भाई, choice तो है, but it cannot be the choice beyond the point that becomes
as
the
you said
only
correctly,
thing that
as you
remains.
said correctly, what is the driving force behind it, और इसका outcome क्या होगा? Exactly.
नियत की बात होती है, सुंदर तो मैं भी देखना चाहती हूँ, लाइनर तो आज मैंने भी लगाया है.
Thank you for encapsulating all these elements through your work and through Bawali. Be that madness, be that subtlety. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Sona. Thank you so much for being who you are, which is certainly beyond the madness that is portrayed on social media. Thank you so much. We are short on time, but lovely talking to you. And thanks for giving us a wonderful treat that Ray Babri is. More power to you.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.